All right, hello and welcome to the September Macomb Park Board of Commissioners meeting. And as always, we will start with the approval of the agenda. Is there a motion to approve?
Would like to approve that.
Is there a second?
Second.
All right, it's been moved and seconded. All in favor? Aye. Opposed? And the agenda stands approved. Consideration of an action on the minutes from the month, let's see.
August.
August,
You're
yes.
right. Mm-hmm.
Are there any corrections, additions, or deletions? All right. Hearing none, motion to approve.
Make a motion to approve.
All right, is there a second?
Second.
All right, it's been moved and seconded to approve the minutes. All in favor? Aye. Opposed? All right, and the minutes stand approved. Bills and transfers and monthly financial statements. Commissioner Ham, please.
Thank you. For the August 2020, for the month, for the consolidated fund, the cash on hand at the end of the month was $610,374. Overall, this ended the month with $114,736 better than budget, and the year-to-date is $249,669 better than budget. One of the reasons why it was so high is because it did have a transaction in there that involved the Veterans Lightings Project. We had moved $50,000 from the dedicated funds to the capital projects and deposited $89,420 check from the foundation account to use towards the invoice of that project. This invoice is, again, to remind folks, it was $139,421 and is scheduled to be paid in September. So we should see a reflection in that. Again, the $91,772 entry in the miscellaneous revenue of the consolidated fund. That is a total from the $89,421 check from the foundation, plus there was also a $2,350 check from iParks, and this was for the replacements of security lights at veterans that we received, so we put that in that account. The general fund, we ended August with $561,669. Overall for the month, that's $9,045 better than the budget projections. And year-to-date, we're $95,057 better than projected. Corporate account, the revenues was $9,483 better than the budget. The expenses for the month ran $7,505 below, which this ended the month for $16,988 better than the budget. Year-to-date, we're $51,756 better than budget. Recreation, the revenues ended $16,806 below budget for the month predictions. The expenses for the month ended $14,019 below, which overall it ended the month $2,787 over budget. However, for the year-to-date, we're still $18,920 better than the budget. For Lakeview, overall, we ended the month $142 below budget expectations, and year-to-date, we're at $1,977 better. Ball 4, for the month, we ended $3,298 below budget expectations, and for the year-to-date, we're $14,869 below what was expected. Special rec, for the program events, overall, we ended the month $896 below expectations, and year-to-date, we're sitting at $168 below budget. For under the Special Olympics, we ended the month $962 better than budget. Year-to-date, we are $5,173 ahead of projections. And thirdly, and for the non-activity account, Overall for the month, we ended $344 below the budget predictions. Year-to-date, we're $1,008 better than the budget. Police, the revenues ended on budget. The expenses ended $147 below expected numbers. Year-to-date is $6,066 better than budget. For payroll, the wages ended the month $13,036 below budget, and for year-to-date, it's $71,327 below budget. Some final notes. The Park District did receive another 10% of the distribution on August 31st of $134,529, which leaves approximately 35% remaining for the tax distribution. And there also was a check for the retirement portion of $64,712 that was deposited on September 3rd. And so that pretty much wraps it up.
All right. Thanks, Russ. Any questions for Commissioner Ham? All right. If there are no questions, a motion to approve the bills and transfers and monthly financial statements.
Make a motion to approve the monthly bills and financial statements.
All right. Is there a second?
Second.
All right. It's been moved and seconded. Roll call vote, please.
Commissioner Edwards.
Aye.
Commissioner Ham.
Aye.
Commissioner Gamage.
Aye.
Commissioner Weiss.
Aye. All right. And the bills and transfers and monthly financial statements stand approved as published. All right, next on our agenda is our Peace Corps Fellow Graduate Assistant. A welcome and an introduction to Jason Loxley. All right.
All right, I'll try to make this entertaining and painless. Should I leave my mask on or take it off? I don't.
Take it off.
Okay. I didn't know what was appropriate. So I'll do a short history of rock, as it were, and about 5 minutes, and then if there's questions, you can feel free to ask me about myself, because I'm an expert on that. So I always like to start off these talks. As you'll hear, I've given a lot of talks and introductions about myself and sort of different programs I've been involved with a quote that my host mom told me about a year and a half into my first Peace Corps service. And she was a Romanian mother that took care of me and introduced me to the Moldovan culture, small country in Eastern Europe where I lived for 3 years. And she probably told me this a quote a lot of times, but the first time I actually understood it was a year in. So I'll share it with you in its traditional language and then translate it and share it with you in English, because I feel like it really sums up who I am and my motivation. So in its native tongue, it sounds like this. Uneori m-am întrebat de ce nu faci cineva ceva. Apoi am înțeles că acel cineva sunt eu. Anybody? Romanian speakers? No, okay, we're rare, but we're out there. All right, so loosely translated, that means this. Once I asked, why doesn't someone do something? And then I understood that that someone is me. So that's been a guiding force in my life, especially since I heard that 10 years ago. So originally I'm from a small town in Virginia called Big Stone Gap, which sounds nice, but if you translate it, it means Large Rock Hall. And if you're thinking that's a coal mining town, you'd be right. So over the years, my grandparents are in the coal mining industry, my great-grandfather was in the coal mining industry, but recently the area started to transition into prisons, maximum securities. So I'm from a very small town that's very tight-knit and understands community and relationships, and also we had a railroad that was right next to my house, so now I live on Chandler, and I'm next to a railroad, and my wife hates it, but it lets me sleep through the night again. It's the strangest thing. So I went to James Madison University, also in Virginia. I started out as a theater major. I like to be in front of crowds. But I switched quickly into fine arts, and in my senior year, I was displaying my work in New York and DC, but I become very perplexed with this question that I was too young and didn't have enough life experience to really drive my art forward. And so I set myself on a 10-year quest to gain experience to inform my art. Spoiler alert, I never really went back to the art part, but the quest was contained with one main theory, which was when I become comfortable, I change. I have to change something in my life. Okay, so the first thing I did right out of college was move into the woods, literally into the woods. And I lived there for about a year, and I learned to hunt and all these sort of different aspects. I had a guide, don't worry, and I had a job as an outdoor guide as well. So I moved through that. This took me into AmeriCorps, so I served for a year in AmeriCorps. In CCC, I traveled around. I worked in Pine Ridge Indian Reservation in South Dakota. I built parks in Colorado, like playgrounds and that sort of thing. I helped build animal shelters in San Antonio, Texas. Basically, I traveled around all the Midwest, and that was my first introduction and the first time I really started to fall in love with the Midwest. And then I joined Peace Corps, and they sent me, I said, don't send me anywhere that gets cold, so I went to Moldova, which is basically on the same line that we're on right now, so it gets very cold. So they didn't listen to me, but I had an amazing 3 years. I started out building a youth center. That was my project to work with my counterpart and help him achieve this dream of establishing the first youth center in our region. It became very successful. He became elected mayor years after I left. But my third year was really focused on establishing an outdoor leadership center in Moldova, which is kind of like high ropes, outdoor focus, ropes, rock climbing, caving, these sorts of activities, which I'm really into. When I came back, I worked for REI doing adventure programming, so same sort of things, kayaking, adventures, figuring out how to build modules that people would buy and package them. And then I became a recruiter for the Peace Corps, and that's where I found WIU, because my territory was Illinois, and so I came here to recruit, and I fell in love with this town. I mean, I really did. One of my best friends in Chicago, his grandfather is from this town, so he's like, you gotta go here, you gotta go here, you gotta go here. And so it was really cool to like come and visit this town and really like start to be introduced to it. And I found the RPTA graduate program, which has a special thing for Peace Corps volunteers. And so, which is Recreation, Parks, and Tourism Administration. And so I was like, one day I'm gonna join that. But out of Peace Corps, I decided to, change my life whenever I became comfortable. And so I went to Madison, Wisconsin. I became a police officer where I served for about a year. That became very stressful to me personally, and so I decided to make another change. My wife and I set out to travel the world for a year. So we went to Costa Rica where we first met, and we stayed there for 4 months. So we weren't so good at traveling the world, but we were better at finding one place, and that led us to really want to serve in the Peace Corps. And I served in the Philippines from 2018 until March when we were evacuated due to COVID. All Peace Corps volunteers were evacuated. And I immediately wrote the program director of the Peace Corps Fellows at WIU and said, can I still get in? And she was like, well, make an application. So I did, and here I am, okay? So the Peace Corps Fellows is a little bit different than your standard graduate assistant. Obviously, we have 2 years of experience. Most of us speak multiple languages. I speak 4 right now, maybe 5 if you count Russian. Not as a language, as me being able to speak it. I definitely count Russian as a language. And we usually have a wealth of experience. So I've worked in a variety of areas. What I think I'm bringing here is, basically I look at this as another Peace Corps investment. And the idea behind Peace Corps is to integrate yourself in the community, become part of it, literally learn the language, and not so much as to help them, because that implies a position of power over someone, but to rather support their initiatives and raise them up by being a free laborer, more or less. I know I'm not totally free. So basically that's how I look at this. I'm here to enhance your initiatives and your ideas, definitely for the next year, maybe for 2 if we're lucky. And I think I can I'm an innovator, I like to create stuff, and as an outside view, I'm happy to be here. But yeah, I'm just thrilled so far with my time, my 3 weeks here. Some of the projects I've gotten my hands on are building dog stepping stones for the Patton Park District, which we're building as a project. And then currently we're starting to unveil the Macomb School of Magic, which is kind of like the parks dressed up for Halloween project next month. So more to come on that. I don't want to reveal too much, but that's where we're at. Any questions? Sorry, it's a lot.
That's awesome. Well, on behalf of the Park Board Commissioners, we're super happy and excited to have you joining us for at least a year, right? Hopefully 2, hopefully. And my goodness, you have a lot of experience, and I'm excited to see what you're going to be able to bring to us. So yeah, this is awesome.
Yeah.
So thank you for taking the time, especially since I know you have class tonight.
I do have
too.
class right now, so I have to run when I'm done. But yeah, I got permission to come to this because it's important.
Yeah. Well, we appreciate it.
I will say that when I saw his resume come across my desk, I thought somebody was vying for my job. So at first I said, who, no, but then I figured it out. So I've been super impressed with Rock's work so far. Within the first 2 hours, he had planned all 3 of his projects and then some. At one morning I came in, he goes, listen, I deviated for just 30 minutes from my main projects, but this really cool thing about ball 4, and like just, it's been a lot of fun. It's been a lot of fun. He's going to bring a lot of new life to the parks.
That's great. It's very exciting.
Looking forward to your ideas. We
Thanks.
can always use outside ideas, and I think Rachel's got a plan for you, and she'll share that with the rest of us.
He's running his own plan. I can't keep up. And I don't say that very often.
The problem with innovators is we are big picture, so sometimes I miss stuff, and that's really what I need, is somebody to help me figure out how this fits here, because that's what I don't know, right? So if anything I'm rolling out, always feel free to approach me. I'm happy to meet, talk.
And your nickname, Rock, how'd you get that?
Okay, I'll condense that. So after college, before Peace Corps, I was a rock climbing instructor, and I was teaching 30 people how to do multi-pitch climbs, which is more dangerous than top roping. And we were 300 feet up, and lightning rolled in, and I ended up in a position at 150 feet up in the air where I was transitioning people. And so we got everybody down, and we debriefed it, and they were like, dude, you're solid as a rock. And the next week we hired another guy named Jason. The schedule came out, they misspelled my name, and 20 years later, here we are.
Okay. Rock is spelled R-O-K.
R-O-K,
There you go.
just because they forgot the C, but here we are. I can't get away, there's no R in Romanian, or there's no J in Romanian, so I had to be Rock.
Okay.
So that it was easier to say. So that's when it really started becoming me.
Okay.
Very cool. Well, thank you,
Yeah,
Rock.
Thank you. Thanks for your
Yeah.
time. Sorry.
No,
Maybe I
no.
took too much.
Awesome. Thank you.
Thanks.
All right.
Good.
All right.
Enjoy your class.
Okay. So, look, we do not have anyone tonight for the open public presentations to the commissioners, so we'll move on to the president's report. So, this morning, Director Lenz sent me Dr. Robinette's report from his tourism focus group. And I was able to take a quick glance at it, and from what I saw, it's going to be very beneficial in regards to continuing for us to move forward with our strategic plan. And speaking of strategic plan, last month, Rachel had emailed me a webinar from the IAPD Leadership Institute called Your Board and Your Strategic Plan. I mentioned it last month, and I was able to watch it, and I did find it very informational and practical. It covered a lot of the basics of what boards do and are, from as far as their values, roles, and responsibilities. And I did forward it to all of you. I believe that was yesterday. So I hope that you'll get a chance to watch that. I would like to publicly say, I guess that goes without saying because we're in public here. Congratulations to Director Lenz and her staff for providing a most excellent event kickoff for the Patton Park project. I would like to also thank all of you for coming out and assisting. That was great. It was awesome. And also a big thank you to Representative Noreen Hammond for coming out as well. And for those of you in the public that weren't able to make it, no worries. There's going to be more events coming soon. Mm-hmm. And that is all I have for the president's report. So any questions or comments? All right.
Okay, I will not
Dr.
be
Lenz.
as brief, sorry. So just to kick off with some fun, We released our new mask campaign. If you've seen or been around the parks recently, you'll see pictures such as these. That say, practicing safe six, masking for a friend. Just a gentle and humorous reminder that, social distancing is still important, even if you're in the parks, and masking is just as important. So, and to show our support of what the state of Illinois is doing, we wanted to show solidarity in using their logo, and also our Chamber of Commerce doing a great job with their social media campaigns with hashtag #MaskUpMacomb. So very excited for those to go around. My mom's response to it was a little bit questionable, but she doesn't have to look at them, so it's fine. The rest of us get to laugh. But going into the Patton Park project, I could not have been more thrilled with the turnout. And we do have the map up on the screen for those who did not get to see it. There is a lot going into this. I cannot thank, first and foremost, the staff who put in so much time and energy into planning and getting all of the documents together. Whitney Kristoff, our graphic designer, is a rock star. She put together a lot of these pieces within 2 weeks' time, just because she was waiting on us to get some final details. She's just a phenomenal talent, and we're very lucky to have her at the Park District. And Aaron, obviously, Kara Sahagan. I mean, they're all doing fantastic work. And even Neil Armstrong was supposed to be there just to help if I needed some assistance, and he ended up running the front table. So. It was fantastic to have everybody there, and also to have all of you there. This is finally a very active board, and I'm very thankful for that, to have all of your support, and for you guys to be so willing to just jump in and grab a table, to walk around with Noreen, to just engage with the public. That was fantastic. So I also want to thank Lisa from Magnolia. She did that of her own time. So that helped us save some expense there. She's always one of the first to jump up and be willing to help us out with an event. She's just a fantastic asset to this community. To all the media that showed up, we had 3 different media outlets there. KHQA alone did 3 spots on us that night. The Voice put out a lovely article on the entire event. So it's just great to have close contact with so many media outlets to help us spread the word. Tri-State Public Radio was there. I think they interviewed me for 45 minutes. So they have a lot of content. Hope that might be why it hasn't been published yet. But that was fantastic. And I also can't go without thanking Noreen for showing up. She's been a huge supporter of the Park District for quite some time, and has been a huge encouragement to me as a young professional. So having her show up and show her support was fantastic. We also had representatives from Macomb Beautiful Association and McDonough County Humane Society showed up, the owner of Gossel Dog House, our friends from Spring Lake. So there's a lot of community organizations who are engaged in this project. They're excited to be partners with us. Our friends at the Prairie Land Conservancy couldn't make it, but they have been very integrated in the planning process for the wetland restoration. Chris Enroth with the University of Illinois Extension Office. I'm in contact with him at least once a week for the wetland restoration. So this is a larger scale community project, and I cannot emphasize that enough. There's so often things that we do that are Rachel's ideas, which is fun. I'm for it. But this is so much bigger than just not only just myself, but also just the Park District. And it's exciting to see the community come together in full force for this. So there's a lot of different papers that I set in front of you guys, and I'll just run through them real quick in case you happen to find somebody who wants to be involved. So I gave you each 2 donation forms. If somebody is really excited about a certain element of the project or just the project in general, that donation form is there for you to give them the resource they need to make a donation. There is also an initiative that allows a family or an individual to purchase what is called a tribute tree. The idea came from in the Park District's friend, Brian Kinman, when we were talking about this project. He said, wouldn't it be great if I could buy a tree for my family and my kids could grow up with their tree in the park, seeing and being a part of its growth and having some ownership in the park. And so that's where this idea came from. But it's not just for families. If an individual wants to celebrate an accomplishment, if somebody wants to do a tree in memory of someone, here's an opportunity to make an impact and have something that you can look at every day. There will be a page on our website where you can go, and there will be a map of Patton Park with locations of trees that are planted as tribute trees. So if you have family who cannot go to the park, they can go online and see their trees there. There's also a memorial bench program, very similar to the tribute tree. And we are also, as Rock mentioned, the dog park stones, there's a page for that as well. So there are several different options for those stones. They cost anywhere from $50 up to $500. There are only five of the $500 stones available for purchase. Thanks to Rock and his artistic talent, he is going to paint an actual acrylic portrait of the, hey, flip to the stone one, would you? You're on TV. He's going to paint an actual acrylic portrait of the family dog just to give us another unique aspect for the stones. So there's a lot of fun that's going to be put into this, and a lot of different ways for people to get involved. So very excited about that. And then we are in the midst of starting our next Push for Parks partnership campaign. That is the last page that you'll see in front of you. You'll remember with the lighting project, we had a lot of organizations get involved with us by either selling a product and giving a small percentage or a dollar amount off of each project. I think the very first one was the cookie sales we did with Hy-Vee. And for every box of cookies we sold, 50 cents went to the lighting project. So very similar to that, we're going to be starting that with the Patton Park project. So if...
is that the wrong one?
So if organizations are interested in getting involved, they need just to reach out to anybody at the Park District, and we'd be happy to give them more information. To pull off a project like this, it does take a village. So as you've already heard, we have a lot of partners already involved, and looking forward and excited to get more involved. We are going to have 2 more events in the near future for the Patton project. So if you missed the first one, no worries. We will have another opportunity. On Friday, September 25th from 4 to 7 will be our next one. We're going to have a unique element with this one where it's going to be more kid-focused. We want to get the youth's reaction to the play pockets that are going in and all the different amenities. We'll probably leave out the wetland restoration for that one because, as a kid, I wouldn't have been excited about that, but who knows? Kids can sign up for a private tour with the director. I'm gonna host 4 different tours. Kiddos up to 15, 12 would be better, but groups of 15, no more than 15. So starting at 4 o'clock, so from 4 to 4:20, 4:30 to 4:50, 5 to 5:20. 5:30 to 5:50. I'll take a group of kids around the park and we will do big reveals. We'll have the renderings covered with a sheet, and then I'll walk over and we'll do a big reveal. And it's to get, for a couple of reasons. We want the kids to feel like this is their park, but we also want to get their reactions. A kid is very honest about what they see in front of them, and that's important to me, that we get the kids their actual feedback on what they think of the product we're providing them. So that will be for Friday. Again, we're only doing 4 times. The event runs from 4 to 7. If families want to come later, there won't be tours after the kiddo private tours after the last 5:30 one, but I will still be there and happy to talk to anybody. And then on Sunday, September 27th, from 1 to 4 will be the next open house, if you will. So no private tours that day, but I will be there, happy to talk to anybody again. So that is, I think, all for Patton. For the rest of the Park District, our next movie in the park is this Friday, September 18th. We are showing Onward. The start time is approximately 7:30, but sunset. So excited to have our last installment, excited to have that Onward as the movie that we show. It's a great movie. Ball 4, fingers crossed, will be opened within the next 2 to 3 weeks, 3 weeks maximum, but we're hoping for 2. So Jeff and his crew have been hard at work out there getting the new carpet laid, and they are starting to see the light at the end of the tunnel. So we will send out press releases. We'll get a hold of all media outlets and make sure that everybody's aware of what times we're open. It will be different than what people are used to seeing. It's going to be hard for us to bring on additional staff when we're only running for weekends, for a couple of weekends. So you'll see some familiar faces out there. Thankfully, we have an amazing staff who are willing to step up when asked. So, Neil will be out there, I'll be out there. We'll have a whole gang of Park District faces. It'll just be your luck which one you get on which day. We did apply for government assistance with some of the COVID expenses that we've been accruing with all the changes. It's called the Local Cure program, and our Park District was allocated approximately $27,000 to help cover the costs that we've already accrued and future expenses. So we're very thankful to the Department of Commerce and Economic Opportunity for providing that relief. I had the opportunity to serve the Illinois Park and Recreation Association on a governance committee. They had a position, their at-large board seat open for this election cycle. They had 10 applicants, so I had the opportunity for 2 days to sit and interview different candidates. It was great to sit with some other Park District professionals of all calibers. They're just recreation professionals, HR, TR, human resources, therapeutic recreation. But it was really fun to get to know those people and get to spend some time with some of the administration for the IPRA. So that was a fun opportunity and a great opportunity for Macomb for us to again be recognized by a state association. The adult softball league came to a close, and they apparently had such great turnout that they are running a fall league. So we have drafted a new contract. I think they are still looking for teams if anybody is interested. But excited that they're taking that opportunity to continue to have some fun while the weather remains nice. I had the opportunity to go to the city's unveiling of the Lincoln Topiary statue, and just want to congratulate them and the work that the Macomb Area Convention and Visitors Bureau has done in collaboration with local artist Duke Ausler and the Macomb Rotary Clubs. It's a great addition to our community and unique, very fun. And then last but not least, I brought this up to President Weiss. In my contract, I have a certain amount of funding that the district allocates me for continuing educations. A majority of that is used every year at the January conference in Chicago. This year, the National Park and Rec Association is going virtual, which would be, I think, an additional just under $300. It's an opportunity that wouldn't, cost us a hotel stay, additional food. I would just be sitting at my desk doing my normal things. So I think it would be a good opportunity for me to learn nationally what park districts are doing and park agencies, especially during the times of COVID, racial justice. I want to make sure we are receiving the best information and resources. So I had intended on putting it on this month's agenda for action, and in my haste forgot. So it will be on the October agenda. Thankfully, that is just before the deadline. But that is something I have to get board approval for once I've spent my allocated amount. So that will be on the again, an October meeting for approval, and happy to share any additional information with you guys prior to that if you'd like.
All right. Any questions or comments for Director Lenz? All right. Thank you very much.
Very welcome.
Okay. Next on our agenda is McDonough County Special Recreation Association update. Julie, is it Eggleston? Come on up.
All right, thank you.
Yes.
I'm gonna get this started real quick. That's what I get for closing my computer. Okay. First, thank you very, very much. I am so excited to be back here. I don't know if you guys know the history, but I actually helped solidify McDonough County Special Rec with the university when I was a grad student way back in 2006. And so I, like Rock, have come home, as I feel. I'm also a professor for therapeutic recreation through RPTA and have been a professor. This is my third year teaching. My first 2 years, I commuted by Amtrak from Plano, Illinois, down 2 or 3 times a week, went down and back the same day because my family lived in Sugar Grove. But the whole plan at every single moment of that trip was to be back here, because I'm a 2-time alum, our PTA family, and I absolutely love this area. So now, of course, you know, our planning, we moved in the middle, at the end of February, right before COVID hit, and we moved to Blandonsville. We have some great property there, and absolutely love it here, and just have loved it. So once we got settled, I contacted Rachel, June, and I said, hey, my plan was always to come and have some fun and help run programming and everything. And she said, oh my gosh, Jess just gave her notice. I'd gotten to know Jess quite a bit through teaching, and I just said, I'll do it, even before talking to my husband. So how do we do this all? So I am the new program supervisor. By doing that, I've also been able to incorporate our different classes that I teach through our PTA, as well as provide some wonderful volunteer experience for our students who are in dire need of it because of COVID going on. We're able to provide some wonderful avenues through virtual programming as well as distanced face-to-face. For example, I just came from doing a fitness class over in Veterans Park. It was our first one that we ran, and we were outside walking the walking path with our masks on, being able to provide exercise, checking out the cool QR codes, doing our fitness and everything, and being able to provide that service for our participants as well as service for our volunteers. So, been very busy since I've been hired officially in August 1, I believe was my start. I volunteered for a little bit before I started just to kind of get my face out there. We did social buddies, I assisted with the day camp on the face-to-face, and then I started. So jumped in basically just organizing. Really trying to find out some different assessments, found some great assessments. And so my RPTA 351 class is helping polish that and to be able to start incorporating that through our initial assessment process, as well as provide a leisure interest survey for our individuals. So they're creating that. It's already created. They're going to take it the next step into a SurveyMonkey status, which is an electronic assessment. So much easier to be able to finish and do, and then it compiles everything and makes it into pretty little graphs and all that stuff. And then they will be reporting their findings to me at the end of the semester. We're sending it out multiple avenues through our social media outlets as well as all of our email lists as well. So then we're able to really try to reach out to all of our participants to see what else they're really interested in. Taking note of inventory, going through the whole supply closet, cleaning, organizing, doing all that fun stuff, really kind of getting an idea of what we have and what we might need for when we were to start programming up again, as well as contacting all of the Special Olympics basketball individuals who might still have uniforms out there for March, when unfortunately their season was cut short. Luckily enough, everything was brought back pretty much. I think I'm still chasing 1 or 2 families out there. And so we were able to do that. And then definitely connecting with community resources through the direction with Rachel. She guided me to become a member, so MCSRA. We are now a member of the Macomb Area Chamber of Commerce. So we can, again, get the word out there that even though we've been in existence for a while, nobody really seems to kind of know what we can do. And so that's a really exciting first step of not only do we do Special Olympics, but we can do programming as well. We can provide inclusion. We can be part of the IEPs into different school districts, some wonderful avenues as well. And then definitely working on polishing programs, policies, creating a COVID assessment that's now being evaluated, and we're going kind of go back and forth on working on some different contracts and things like that. Just basically kind of making sure things are really set in place before we really start hitting the ground running. And of course, creating the fall program guide, which I agree, Whitney is a fantastic rock star. She and I have talked quite a bit about, what about this, and can I put the picture here, and what about here, and we're already starting. She's a rainbows and ponies thinker like I am, and she's like, well, what about the logo, and what about doing the branding? And I'm like, time out, I've only been here a month, but I love that idea. So we are really trying to look ahead and what we can continue to provide our participants that we work with, as well as what else can we do? Can we connect with more individuals? And so that kind of comes to my next step of what we've been up to. So I've reconnected with Bickford Cottages. We are providing programming for them starting this Thursday. And I said it's a distance face-to-face. They're allowing us on campus to go and provide programming, but it's all outside. We're going to be wearing our masks. Our first program is bingo. So they're going to be on one side of the fence in their beautiful little courtyard, and we'll be on the other side of the fence doing bingo. And so working with Trish, who is the life enrichment coordinator, she's fantastic. So we're able to do that for revenue. We're then also offering our Thursday virtual programs for the Mosaic individuals as well as our individuals. We're connecting our people because they miss each other, just like how we have missed each other. And I don't know about you guys, but Zoom really has helped connect everybody. This is needed, the face-to-face, but they can't do that. They are really still in their homes, and they're taking risk assessments if they can go to a doctor's appointment. And so our people miss each other. So this is a great way to be able to connect them socially, to be able to do that. So my RPTA 453 students, they are running these 2 different programs and assisting, and I'm going to be facilitating, but pretty much I've set the first 3 or 4 programs, and it's their charge to be able to continue to do that, which is really exciting, to be able to give them this great opportunity of this field work. Then the Tuesday programs, bowling, because who doesn't love bowling? And everybody from Special Olympics miss it. They miss their people. And so we decided to go ahead and start a bowling program, just social, as I've been told. It's just social. It's not competitive, right, Miss Julie? And I said, yep, that's just social. We're just here to have friends and to bowl and just have fun. So because, unfortunately, Special Olympics bowling did get canceled, and we'll talk about that, Special Olympics, in a minute. But so that'll be every other Tuesday, same time, 4:30 to 5:30. And then the other opposite Tuesdays, every other Tuesday, is the fitness program out at Veterans Park, 4:30 to 5:30. And we actually, for as late as we were able to get dates out and everything, still working on getting a program, we were able to get some great registration so far. Our special events, we have one special event, the Kayak and Lunch at Spring Lake, which we're going to this Saturday from 10 to 1. We're going to get into those kayaks, thanks to Ryan Hansen, who's just been fantastic helping me organize this, and with instruction from one of our staff who is actually a kayak instructor. We're going to be learning how to get in, get out safely without dumping, which I know I will, because I always do, but that's part of the deal. And rowing and how to turn, how to go backwards, how to paddle, and Spring Lake is just the perfect place to be able to explore that leisure opportunity. And then after that, everyone's bringing their own lunch, and we're able to go to the pavilion and to be able to have lunch and socialize. So our other special event is actually a virtual Halloween party. And so we're having that on Friday, October 30th, virtual, so anybody can be involved. We're encouraging everyone to get dressed up in their costumes. We're going to have a dance party. We're going to have karaoke, have contests of the scariest or the best costume. And the fraternity, they just signed on. I just gave them an orientation on Sunday evening. They've agreed to go ahead and join us and to help us be a support as well. So the more the merrier in my mind, because I love Halloween, and I really think that that'll be a really fun way to get everybody safely involved and to have some fun. Unfortunately, Special Olympics, we had to put everything on hold. Nobody is doing bowling. Basketball is still in question because we're borrowing high school gyms. And so I just spoke with Kathy Bitar last week. She's our Regional F Special Olympics director, and she's not sure. Basically, she's just like everybody else. We're making decisions week by week. So she will let me know about that plan. However, in my mind, we're going to be doing a lot of other wonderful things during the winter time to kind of cover for that fact and to maybe still include everybody. It will probably be virtual. Definitely will not be basketball scrimmage games. So I've got some interesting things, Wii basketball and different things like that that are rummaging around in my brain. So, so far, that's what I've been up to the last month or so. I welcome questions.
I will say it's been much livelier in the Park District office with the addition of Julie and Rock. They're both just nonstop. Julie came up to my office the other day to go over some things, and she goes, I want to make sure I'm doing enough. I said, I can't keep up with you now, so please, please, you're doing great.
Well, I'm just really excited. The fact, I mean, as a alum myself, grad alum in the RPTA, Director Lenz, both undergrad and grad, yourself, and Rock soon. So it's awesome. The partnerships and the excitement that we're seeing from you just in the month and a half, that, I mean, it's great, and welcome. This is wonderful.
Thank you. I'm really excited to be here. I cannot tell you, and this is just as I told Rachel, I said, I feel like I'm not doing enough, but I feel like I'm just having so much fun. You know, I almost have to say, okay, hold back for a minute, because, you know, you've got all this other stuff going on too, but the plans for the future, because of my CTRS status, I can take on interns. So I do have to be working and doing all that fun stuff. So figuring all that out, we can do interns, therapeutic recreation interns for summer. And so I'm already putting the word out of,
Great.
hey, this is a possibility, and wouldn't this be fun to come and have some fun with me?
That's awesome.
So it's a blast. I love it. And I truly appreciate the office is just very comfortable. Sharon and Chris remember me from way back, and so that has just been a welcome. And Rachel's pretty much, I keep checking in on her going, I'm going to do this. Is this okay? I'm going to do this. Is this okay? And she's like, yeah, sure. I said, let me know if I need to stop.
Well, we're very excited to have you on board, and man, I tell you, tonight really shows how much amazing things we have in our near future and past that, even during this crazy time that we're living right now. So this is absolutely fantastic.
Julie undersells herself also. She's far, and I think I mentioned this when I told you guys that we had the opportunity to hire Julie on. She's a wealth of experience and knowledge, and it was her creation of the Angels program, which was a therapeutic writing equestrian program, when I was in my undergrad, that made me really fall in love with TR and the whole program. And so, yeah, she's got amazing resources and connections in Chicago, and from her time being an executive director up there, another person who, you know, I could potentially be nervous about vying for my job someday, but
Never.
we,
I like where I am.
we have, we're very blessed to have the amount of talent and skill in the Park District right now. Macomb should be very excited about what they're going to see come out of our office in the near future. Yeah.
Well, I think we should just end now and just.
That's be done. We can't though. I need the bond.
Yes, right. Well, thank you so much for
Thank you.
taking the
Presenting
time
and sending
to
us that
talk to us
information.
tonight. Appreciate it.
Thank you. Thank you for
Yeah,
your
thanks,
time.
Julie.
I really appreciate it. And your support. I really appreciate it.
Bet. You bet.
Have fun.
Thank you.
Okay. Moving on in our agenda here, let's see, a selection of First Midstate Incorporation as the underwriter / placement agent, and Chapman and Cutler LLP as bond disclosure counsel to the underwriter / placement agent with respect to the district's general obligation park bonds with action possible. That's a lot to say
It's
right
a lot.
there.
You should have
Goodness
seen
gracious.
Emily's face while you were trying to read it.
I'm sorry. You're welcome. So, and correct me if I'm wrong, which I know you do anyways, but so we've been working with First Midstate for about 14 years or so.
Approximately, yep.
And they've been assisting us with funding for capital projects. And actually, David, and I'm going to butcher his last name.
I'll just save you. Pistorius.
Thank you. He will be on our agenda in November. So, and I'm going to,
Sure.
you want to put a
Yeah.
little more in that? Yeah.
Yeah, so our bond is what helps us fund our capital projects. Like you mentioned, it also helps us pay off our debt certificates. This is something we do annually with or without First Midstate. Chris Frankhauser just really very much appreciates you all for approving us working with First Midstate. He used to do this prior to that, entering into an agreement with them, and it's just been a load off of his shoulders and much more fluid. They have a lot more resources, and this is what they do. Right now, the interest rates are extremely low for bonds. David believes that we're going to get an even better deal than we did last year. If you remember, I think our percentage last year was 2.1%, which was unheard of. There's a solid chance it'll be below 1% this year, which is great for us. That means extra dollars for us to put towards our parks. So, yeah, because we are such a new board, and this is a different. We only do it once a year, so it's not as fresh. I did ask David to come and join us in November, whether it be it through Zoom or in person if he feels comfortable, just to kind of go over what they do and how the entire bond process works. But before he can do that, we have to hire First Midstate as our bonding agent.
Any questions in regards to, or prior to making any sort of motion? Okay, so is there I'm sorry.
I would like to move that we do hire them, as we have in the past annually, to move forward in this process of generating bonds for our operations.
All right, so it's been moved. Is there a second?
Second.
And then
All
we can
right.
Have a discussion now.
Actually, do we need to, and now we could, yeah,
If there are any
can have
additional
discussion.
questions.
yeah.
So basically, as Rachel was telling, this is something that we do annually. It really is a process that we need experts involved with generating the bonds and getting them sold, and so that we can have the revenue to generate and operate on them. And then we repay back these bonds periodically through our normal form of business. So that's how it gets done.
End
and
of each
that's-
year.
Yeah, I was going
That's
to say
just-
at the end of each year,
That's-
right?
Yeah, so it has run pretty smoothly since I've been serving on the board, and I have no objections to it. But I just want to reiterate that this is a pretty normal time of the year that we go through this process once a year.
Now, do we need to do a roll call for this? Okay. So roll call vote, please.
Okay. Commissioner Ham,
Aye.
Commissioner Gamage,
Aye.
Commissioner Weiss,
Aye.
Commissioner Edwards.
Aye.
All right, it's passed. Open commissioner presentation and discussion of future agenda items. Any of you?
I have none.
All right.
Russ, was your motion to approve the entirety of Section 9 with not just First Mid-State, but also Chapman and Cutler?
Correct.
Okay.
Yes. I moved for the,
Yeah, okay, I just
And
wanted
I'm
to make
sorry,
sure.
I probably did not, yeah, that might have been my bad too on that.
That's okay.
So, yeah, so that was for both Mid-State and Chaplin and Cutler.
Okay, perfect, thank you.
All right. Okay. Well, I had to mess up sometime, right? It happens every month. All right, so moving on to that, is there a motion to adjourn?
Make a motion to adjourn.
All right, is there a second?
Second.
All right, it has been moved and seconded. All in favor? Aye. Opposed? And we stand adjourned. Thank you all very much.